Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Joshua Eady about the Kissing Booth 3 dropping on Netflix August 11th. Welcome back to the show, sir. It's good to see you.
Thank you, dude. It's so great to be back. It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, it was only last year, right? When Kissing Booth 2 came out, it was last year.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that thinks it's so weird that I remember when they announced, I'm not talking when it was out, like when they announced Kissing Booth 1, like when the first one was announced, and now the third is coming out. It's insane to me.
You remember when they announced the first one?
I remember when it was announced, the trailers came out. Yeah.
That's sick. Well, I mean, like, the first one was really, I mean, obviously, being the first one, being like the start of this whole era, that was something really special. So, like, I have a lot of really fond memories around the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Second one as well, obviously, making it was very, very special.
Mm-hmm.
But because of COVID, everything was so restricted. So everything had to be, very over FaceTime, or over the computer, over the phone, over whatever. So there was a lot less in-person engagement, and that's really.
But if you think about it too, I mean, the Kissing Booth, right? The trilogy is a Netflix original, right? It's a Netflix movie trilogy. And when the first one came out, I mean, there weren't that many original Netflix movies out at the time. Right? Like it was in the early stages of that. So I think that was kind of the big deal as well. That's why I think a lot of people knew it, right? It's like, oh, Joey King, Netflix. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And Netflix original movie. Like they weren't as plentiful as they are now, right?
Yeah, good point. That's a really good point.
So that's why, but it's cool. Like, how does it feel to like have the third one be coming out? Like it's 3 movies. That's pretty cool. It's a big deal. Like you're part of a trilogy.
It's awesome. Look, I think initially when we signed on to the first one, I myself didn't know that they were going to do a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I think it must have been like 6, 7, 8 months later when I got the phone call and they were like, oh, there's also going to be a 2 and 3. And that was a really special phone call because we did the first one and left so many things open-ended, obviously on purpose. And then I watched the movie and, got to the end and I was like, there's a lot of questions I still have. And I was there for every day of it. Like, I need these questions answered. And then they were like, oh, we're doing a 2 and a 3. And there you go. So kind of got what I wanted.
Didn't you find out? So you found out 2 and 3 were happening like together, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember, I remember like when I had you on for Kissing Booth 2, I thought it was like it made it seem like it was like fresh that they were making a third one. Because I remember like we were like talking about the second one, and then off air you were like, by the way, like Kissing Booth 3 is on its way. So like I don't know what the timeline was like.
Dude, Kissing Booth. What's so great about the third one is that every time we've released one, number 1 was obviously brilliant, number 2 was obviously brilliant, but every time we've released one, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
So making the third one was huge.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see the response to this. There's a lot that they put in it that's very special.
But there's also there's kind of a lot going on. I mean, a big decision. You see it in the trailer. I mean, a big choice, like a decision has to be made, right? Basically, in this third, like she's got to make the big decision, right? And I feel like that's kind of a good way to like bring it all together, right? Where like it kind of started in the beginning where she was kind of figuring out her way. Like I like the direction based on the trailer because trailers are a huge part of this. The direction of the third, because it's kind of like Kissing Booth 1, Kissing Booth 2 comes out, you kind of have an idea of like what it's going to be about. They kind of announced Kissing Booth 3 and you're kind of like up in the air in terms of like, what's like the storyline of the crux going to be of, right? And then it's like, okay, she's got to make a big choice before going to college. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what resonates so well with the viewer.
Yeah.
A lot of us have been at that stage of life and a lot of us are also getting there right now.
Yeah.
And it is a big decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first step into the rest of your life. There's people, there's friends, there's partners in that stage of life that are your everything. And you kind of have to balance this like life that you've built and these partners you've made and these friendships you've made, as well as looking at the future and kind of going like, what are the next 1, 2, 3 5-10 years of my life entail. And I think that's what resonates so well with people.
Oh, absolutely.
Is making that big call, dude.
There's a lot of Tuppen memes, edits, and GIFs all over the place.
Yeah.
How does it feel for these edits, memes of Tuppen having no shelf life? Like, I don't think they're going away anytime soon.
That's a good question, dude. I think coming in originally, the scenes that Tuppen gets to do are so much fun.
They are. Yeah, I was about to say, you luck out with that.
Dude, it was like wear the skirt, play the bad guy.
Well, the classroom scenes are always a fun time. Let's be honest. Like the school scenes, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I think to bring it back to the third one, in terms of your question, in terms of like special moments that Tuppen gets to share, there's a couple more of them in the third one. Kind of wraps it up nicely, and we kind of get to see the full arc of who Tuppen is.
We're in a golden age the golden age of television, of course, but content, movies, like podcasts, where there's so much amazing things. And people are talking about, especially in like TV and film, because the storytelling is unbelievable. And I agree with that. That's the main thing. It's unbelievable. And the arc of certain characters and just the writing and the cinematography. But I truly think the main reason why content is so golden right now is because of the access globally. Like 190 countries are going to be able to see your film in like a couple of days. Like think about think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like it's blowing my mind.
It's so hard for me to fathom that kind of thing. Like hearing you say it, I'm like
190 countries on Netflix.
Like, that's a lot of people. It's difficult for me to think about that because, how can I see like 190 countries worth of people in front of me and all these people get to see something so special.
And it's quick. It's so quick. Like the quickness. Yeah. That's what kills me.
Accessibility has made things. I mean, what Netflix have done is incredible in terms of Netflix originals as well as the accessibility for so many different people around the world.
Because it's going to be all the time zones, right? Like you're going to see, and I think some fans do it, right, with Kissing Booth 3, like all the times that it will be available, right? Because it's out like midnight Pacific time, and then it's all the different time zones, right? Yeah. So you're going to wake up, because you're in South Africa right now, you're going to wake up and it's going to feel so like fresh for you, like it's just been out, but there's going to be almost all the content's gonna be up already from all over the place so quick. Like all the memes from the third is gonna be like so instant.
Well, I remember when the first one came out, and like we have to give credit to the people that watched, to the fans that watched, people that love it. Without them watching and loving it, it would literally not be what it is. So I remember when the first one came out, I still had notifications for Instagram like on my phone.
Yeah.
Every time someone liked something or anything happened, like it would ting. And because we 6, 7, 8, 9 hours ahead in South Africa, if something releases, in the evening, sent out like 8 p.m. in America, it's usually 2, 3 a.m. for us on this side.
Yep.
And I remember being in bed at like 2 a.m. in the morning and my phone just going off. And obviously the Kissing Booth was the first big thing that I've ever, been lucky enough to be a part of.
We talked about that last time too, yeah.
I couldn't like understand this. My phone was just like vibrating off the table. And it was just, everyone responding to such a great film. And to this day, I'm very grateful and lucky for that.
And Instagram Lives are a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sure, I think eventually we're going to do like an Instagram Live and the fans are going to go crazy because the live component of it is nuts too. Like how it just waterfalls like from all over the country. Like we were talking before, like I did one with the Fear Street cast. Yes. We had 22,000 people in 20 minutes.
That's insane.
Tune in. Like at one point, like Julia Raywald, who plays Kate, who's having a real like following right now.
Yeah.
She joins the live and it goes from like 980 people like at one time to like 5,000 like tuned in like 25 seconds.
That's amazing. I love that.
You know what I mean? But again, like Netflix family, like I'm telling you, man, like, and I'm not trying to like, we're like, there's a lot of amazing streaming platforms, but Netflix is just knocking it
I
out of
love
the park right now, man.
love 'em.
Yeah.
Hats off to them, dude. I mean, they've obviously given me a lot of what I have right now.
But like I've
So
interviewed like for example, like we were talking before we went on this, is like Ragnarok on Netflix from Norway.
yeah,
I've interviewed a lot of the cast of that. That show's like massive because of
yeah.
Netflix, right? It's just unbelievable. Like the Netflix content has really helped Popternative. So I gotta say thanks.
It's also opened up so many other cultures and so many other talented people around the world.
Yeah.
So it's great that like you're saying, it was shot in Norway, correct?
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah,
the global hit. And if you haven't watched it yet, like it's so good, dude. It's so
I'm gonna
good. It's like Norwegian mythology a little bit, so it's kind of like
watch
like
that.
Thor and Loki kind of storyline. So if you
Yeah,
like the Marvel, it's so good, man. It's so good.
I'll give that a watch.
And
I'll
a
give that a
cool
watch.
thing
I
is
actually,
they all speak English, so they're like I watched it with the subtitles, but a lot
mm,
of them, because they speak English, did their own dubs.
wow,
Isn't that cool?
that's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, so
That'll
like
be a lot of fun.
Jonas Stradley Grand, like he plays Lauritz. He did his own dub. So if you watch it like in English, it's him
Oh,
speaking.
his
Yeah.
voice. That's sick. Dude, someone actually asked me, I think yesterday or the day before, I was away with a couple mates, and someone asked me they if there's a different dub version of the Kissing Booth. Obviously, I have access to the English version. There is a different dub version, correct?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's the options like so the settings, because a lot of people also their settings are defaulted where it goes to the English dub
Yes.
automatically. So
Yes.
some people don't even know. Like I know, like the Money Heist, like tons of people watched Money Heist with the English dub, like not in Spanish, because it wasn't. They didn't know that they can go in and like change it.
Money Heist is so good. I actually watched Money Heist with subtitles and
Yeah.
like not dubbing. Love that
We
show. It was
interviewed like well his character passes away in it, but we interviewed Oslo, like the really big guy, Oslo.
yeah, that's
And he
sick.
didn't it was his first English interview like ever. And we did it. It was sweet. It was awesome.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
But
I
it's
dig
like
that.
the global thing is pretty cool. Like it really is. Like there's like no limitations to what you could watch basically. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. I think I got a bit of an understanding for that. I was in Dubai airport
Yeah.
to meet people on that side of the world. I mean, I'm just a dude out of South Africa, right, on the other side of the world. To meet people in Dubai that were on the same page, that were watching the same things and knew the film and knew the names and knew the storyline, and that's incredible, dude. It's very humbling.
Absolutely. No, for
To meet
sure.
people.
And the third is coming out. I'm so happy for you and the cast, man. Seriously, it's so cool. Before we wrap up, like takeaway wise, like when they watch this third one, I mean, people see the trailer and everything, so they kind of have an idea. But I think the trailer does a good job of a little tease. Like you don't really know, like I'm sure there's gonna be. It's fresh. Like I don't feel like there's any like spoilers or anything in the trailer, right? Like I feel like. Cause like sometimes when you watch a trailer and you're like, oh, like it feels like I got a lot of information.
Yes.
I don't think they did that with the third.
No. I think, dude, I honestly, I try not to know as much about the outcome as possible, because my biggest fear is doing an interview and someone asks me a question and I love to talk, so I have to think everything through that I'm
You
saying
spoil
right
it by
now,
accident.
and then I spoil it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, okay, well that's the end of the
Well,
movie."
it,
I
it,
really
wa-
don't want.
it was tough doing a lot of the Fear Street interviews because I watched those movies like 3 weeks before they came out. So we're doing the interview and like I know what happens and they know what happens, but I'm like, okay,
You
when am I
can't tell
posting
anyone?
this? Yeah.
That's sick. That's sick.
So it
Yeah,
was good. But what are you hoping to get out of it when they watch this third movie?
I want them to get out of so what's great about the Kissing Booth is that there's a certain fan base at a certain demographic and certain age that jumped on at the first one,
Mhm.
and as we released 1 and 2 and now into 3, obviously that the fan base grows. But these are the people that have invested time into supporting these movies, and they're growing up with us in these movies.
Yeah.
And I think the third one needs to be a bit of a balance of answering all the questions that we have,
Yep.
It's advertised as the end of an era. I want people to be heartbroken that it's over. I want people to be like, oh, damn, rewatch all 3 just to keep it alive in my life. And at the same time, it's a smile at the end of it and be like, what a dope era. Like, what a great 3 movies. It's been 4 or 5 years of my life. I wouldn't ask for it to go any other way. And it's been a big part of a lot of people's lives as well, you know? So enjoy it. Be sad that it's over, because I will be as well. But at the same time, just enjoy it. It reflects life in quite a beautiful way. So
Absolutely.
I hope people take that out of it.
Always a pleasure chatting with you, my man. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Dude, thank you so much for having me anytime, man.
And people can follow you on Instagram is where you're mostly active.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Just Blame Josh, and then I just joined TikTok, which I still don't understand how to use it, to be honest. I'm trying. But also there, Just Blame Josh. Yeah.
Amazing. This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, you're going to be able to catch Joshua as Tuppen, of course, in Kissing Booth 3, available on Netflix globally August 11th. Until next time, this is Joshua Eady and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.